Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, a Colts podcast with real takes and no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. Dan, what's up?
Not too much, man. We're kind of in the home stretch here of kind of
Ooh.
the dog days of the summer where there's not a lot of Colts news, not a lot of Colts stuff. Kind of waiting for training camp about 2 weeks out. But we got some stuff that's popping around, some things that are pretty interesting. I think as Colts fans, we need to be not just worried about this season, and then we'll spend a lot of time talking about this season, but there's something that you saw this week that kind of got our attention. Looking, next 3 years, a little bit of something about our cap. What'd you find there, Josh?
Yeah, Pro Football Focus, which I know they're kind of a highly criticized company, put together a cap health over the next 2 to 3 years of NFL teams whose caps looking the best. And they put the Colts as the 13th ranked team when it comes to salary cap health. Now, obviously, there's 32 teams, so that puts us in the top half, puts us right in the middle. How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's really important because when you think about the next 3 years, this is that window that everyone talks about with a rookie quarterback having such a team-friendly deal that you can be aggressive in some other areas, which I know that's an offensive word to Ballard to be aggressive. But this is exactly kind of the time that he really needs to be. So not only are we talking about, okay, do we sign Jonathan Taylor? Do we sign Pittman? Do we sign, Stewart? Some of those guys. Yeah, some of those things can be debated. But the bigger question is, what are we going to do with this cap health? And do you project or do you think there's a big free agent trade out there that we should do or take advantage of this cap health that we have?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I look at the Colts salary cap, underneath Chris Ballard, signing our guys has not been an issue. We've always really had the money to sign any homegrown talent that we've had. Now, the knock on Ballard has always been, hey, look, the Colts don't go out and get guys, but
Yeah.
getting our own guys back hasn't been an issue. Now, you could say Bobby O, the linebacker, he was a little more than we needed to spend, and we didn't have the money, but I don't really consider that as a big loss.
No.
The thing is, obviously, I think a reason for that is Ballard drafts, and this is a knock on the Colts, and we're Colts fans, and we give authentic takes, and sometimes we're a little critical, but that just means we're fans. We're trying to look at it realistically. But Ballard, he doesn't draft, or he doesn't really the really marquee positions in the NFL very well. I mean, you look at the pass rusher situation, and we like what he pay, but he hasn't developed well. He hasn't developed I should say, to a marquee pass rusher. So if he stays what he is, he's not going to command like a top 10 defensive end money. You look at, I mean, we have a star running back, but we don't have a number one receiver, like a marquee number one receiver, which pays more. Well, the receiver doesn't. So so you look at the quarterback position. Ballard struggled getting the quarterback. Now we've paid a lot for old guys, but
Yeah.
Richardson's on a rookie contract. So I think part of our salary cap, what makes us good at salary cap, is we're paying for a lot of positions that don't cost as much, which I don't know how I feel about it. I guess you don't win Super Bowls by having the most salary cap. I've never heard of anybody win a Super Bowl because of it.
No, that's the point that kind of this whole thing we're getting at here is, okay, they've got to be aggressive, and you're identifying maybe the positions to be aggressive. I would give you three of them. You mentioned two of them: defensive end / pass rusher, and then a number one wide receiver. Look, we can have long debates about Michael Pittman Jr. I think this is going to be a good year to kind of see that, even though it's a rookie quarterback. We're going to see what he can do. We're going to find out whether or not he's truly a number one on the upper half of that or not. If he isn't, we got to spend money there.
Yeah.
Pass rush, you said that. The third position, I think, is going to be one that we're going to keep an eye on is cornerback. Okay.
Yeah.
We got a lot of young guys. We got a lot of guys with length, a lot of guys with athleticism. That's great. But if they can't play the position, they're just going to be chasing down the receivers after they score touchdowns. So they got to be able to play the position. And if we can't hit on some of those draft picks, we got to spend the money in the secondary in the cornerback position. So I think this indication, this 13th best health index that came out is telling us, yes, we're going to sign our guys, but there's at least one of those positions, whether it's wide receiver, pass rusher, or cornerback, we got to go out and spend some money on, and we got to find someone that's going to eventually push us over the top. We're not saying this year, but eventually in the next 3 years, push us over the top and get us over that hump that we're hoping to be in.
Yeah, and people look at the Colts and they're like, oh, are they going to sign Pittman? Are they going to sign Taylor? The question, the answer, they can. And like that's, I know there's some teams where they're in a spot where they really just have to, they're a cap casualty. They just have to let them walk. We know we have the money to sign these guys. And Grover Stewart's another one coming up who I would really like to see Grover Stewart come back after this season. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting watching how the Colts handle their cap over the next few years. Obviously, there are a lot of teams who find a way to really manipulate the salary cap, and it doesn't even seem fair almost. And maybe there's going to be some rules put in the future because salary cap can really be a complex thing. And the Colts have really, especially underneath Ballard, been very conservative, and they haven't really done any of this new age spending and restructuring and bonuses. Maybe because we're not really in the running for any Super Bowls, but
again, it's something to look ahead and kind of project because, you even mentioned the guys that need to be signed, but there's guys kind of in the 2-year, 3 window, some of our offensive linemen, Buckner, some other guys that are like, okay, what are we going to do with them? We don't really have, after, hopefully Shaq Leonard comes back and it's going to be a stud and there, but what do we do there? So there are some pretty big questions and the makeup of this team is going to continue to be fluid. And the good news for us is we're in a spot where we're able to do that with the cap and we're not going to be doing salary dumps. We're not going to be kind of restarting with that. We are primed in a good position, both with young talent and with the cap to really be set up in the next 2-3 years. And that should make Colts fans excited.
Yeah, especially with Richardson on that rookie contract. It'll be nice. Yep. So guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. Obviously salary caps, kind of a polarizing topic, so we're curious what you think about their cap health as said by Pro Football Focus. Guys, thanks again for watching our show, and if you're interested in more Colts content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Thanks again, and have a great day.